September 12, 2018, at exactly 10:43, I was introduced to this human being that I had prayed for. I had imagined how he looked. I had prepared for physically in prayers and every other thing. But was I emotionally prepared for what I was about, for the person I was about to meet, for the person that God had placed in my hand to help fulfill His purpose? I don't know. Let's find out. So this video, today we're going to be talking about how to be emotionally available, be it to your child, to your partner, to your friend, to your sister, or to your brother. People always assume that because you gave birth, I'm going to use my niche, which is motherhood and lifestyle, that because you gave birth to that child, you're automatically supposed to be emotionally available to that child. Have you ever felt like you're not connected to your child? Like you don't understand this human being that you just brought home. You don't understand this human being you live with. You struggle emotionally to connect to their emotional needs. To their emotional needs. Packing of backpack, taking out, doing the fun stuff, it's not emotional needs. Emotional needs, for you to be emotionally available to your kids, you need to be emotionally savvy yourself. And most of us come from these homes that, I mean, when last did your mom or your dad hug you? If there's this awkward silence when you even tell an African parent I love you, but my dad usually says it back though. But most of us can relate, right? When you say I love you and they say thank you. So tell me, you're not coming from that place, and then all of a sudden you're expected to show the other side of it. How? You cannot teach what you weren't taught. You are a product of your environment. So how do you emotionally now connect? How do you emotionally train your child for how do you make sure they're emotionally there? What is even emotional availability? Like how do you even know that you're not emotionally connected? Most times when I see parents that are, I as a parent, I don't worry about now. I don't worry about the toddler stage. I worry about tomorrow when I'm not able to physically do anything to them. Because most of us will make jokes, oh, na color, but we'll do healthy parenting, gentle parenting, at the same time we use the other side of the parenting that we used to. When you can no longer do that to your child, what happens? I'm always looking at the future. The future. I want to be my kids' friends, and at the same time, I want to be their parents. I want to be the point of contact for them when something is going on. That they know that at the end of the day, they can actually tell me that thing. Do you have communication skills yourself, your partner, or your kids? Ask yourself that question. Do people find it difficult to tell you something? Like they don't, people hide things from you. Why do you think that happens? I just read a story randomly on the internet the other day that said that this lady lost two kids because they lost her money, and they felt she was going to do something very horrible to them, and they drank something and committed suicide. I, for the life of me, could not fathom the feeling that she would be feeling. But these things are avoidable because we know better, because our generation understands better, because we are here to foster healthy parenting. Do you lack communication? Ask yourself. Do you avoid intimacy? Like your child comes back from, if you feel that maybe picking up your child or hugging your child is spoiling, that's the first time that you're lacking intimacy. You lack communication. You feel emotional numbness. Like when your child is crying, you feel like, oh, that's just a bad habit. Let me even go to this part by saying that a child, a baby that is not yet talking, that's between the age from 0 to 1. There's a reason why God made cry. Like babies crying, there's a reason why God crying is a means of communication to that child. Crying is a means of communication. It can be very annoying, yes. It can be very triggering, given the stress and every other thing that you're feeling. But crying is a means of communication. It just depends on how you look at it. When a baby is crying, something is not right. They are either wet, they're hungry, they're sleepy, or something is not right. Their stomach is paining, something is not right. But to some people, when your child is crying, it's annoying, or it's you're trying to spoil the child. I remember with my son, I had so much guilt because he was so clingy, and I picked him up till tomorrow. It doesn't have to be my child, it can be your child. I cannot think. I cannot think, me, Nadine Quanta, cannot think when the baby is crying. I literally have to help, stop and help. It doesn't matter whether it's my child or your own child or a child I'm seeing outside. I just don't, I get very triggered with the baby crying. Then, not to talk about my own child. I will pick my child up at the least inconvenience till tomorrow. That is the child that will say, oh, you're carrying that child too much, you're holding him too much, you're spoiling him too much, you're doing this one too much. But now, how old is he? He's 6. He barely even allows you to hug him. You can't do that anymore. Those things just pass. You can't do that anymore. But that stage, that's where I needed to meet him emotionally. Emotionally, he needed me to hold him. He needed me to hug him. He needed to be picked up. He needed to see the world from my own height. He didn't want to see the world from down there. That's how I would look at it. And that's how it will change your perspective and help you to be emotionally available for the child that God has blessed you with. So tomorrow, you don't feel like you're living with a stranger. Like, how did I get here? Who am I living with? I don't want to believe that I'm the one that gave it to you. You hear statements like that come out from people's mouth. It's because at the end of the day, you were not emotionally available to that child. So we want to make sure that we understand the importance and how it can impact our relationship with our kids. Like the story I just told, I read on internet. Imagine if that those kids had a relationship with their mom. I come from a household that I will beat my chest any day. If you come and tell my mom that I did something, she would she won't start by cautioning me there, like how some people just jump and caution you. No, she will start by telling you, thanking you for bringing the child, for coming to tell her and all that. Then she will take you inside and then she will ask you. You have the chance to explain yourself. You have the chance to say the truth. You have the chance to apologize. Yeah, before they reset your brain. I mean, the two of them were always happening. It doesn't mean that we're not going that way, but I knew deep down of me, inside me, that I was being heard. I had a line of communication with my mom. If something is to happen, you have the chance to say something. Try to connect. This video is just for you to understand how you can be emotionally available to your child. Emotional needs are different from physical needs, are different from buying clothes, they're different from feeding your clothes. I know it sounds like a lot, but this is a school that we have come into. Like, you just bought this child. It's a different human being, you are a different human being. Some of their things, some of their characteristics that they come with might be triggering to your personality. But at the end of the day, look at it this way, because that's how I've looked at it. Some of the things they do, your partner does it. Those genes are working. It's either from you or from your partner. Then there are things that you as a person have worked on because you are emotionally matured. You have grown into coping skills with them. But those kids just came here and they have those things, and they are not able to. For example, I'm going to say, hey, they call me Ginger Mama. I am able to do things, and all of a sudden I want my child to sit down. You'll be saying, sit down, sit down, sit down, don't stand up, sit down. Where did that come from? I have learned to be able to sit down. And if you ask my mom tomorrow, I'm sure she will say that she had to tell me to sit down 1 million times. Am I sitting down now? Yes. Be patient. Give your child some time. Connect to that child emotionally. Practice self-reflection. Reflect on the things that you could do better. Let's say something happened. You can be able to apologize to your child. Say sorry. The other morning, I watched my daughter say, I'm sorry, Jaden. It's okay. She stepped on Jaden. He didn't really take anything of it, but I saw myself in the things that I I apologize to them. So it's a practice that they have seen around the house and are able to give out. The fact that you grew up in an environment and because kids are like sponges. They pick up on the things, the environment, the people, the school. That's how they pick language, they pick morals. That's how they pick things that help them become their own person. So the things that you expose them, if you are emotionally available to your children and you're able to say, this is what my child needs, this is what is going to help him to flourish. Even when you go into, you know, even if you, when you go, you are talking about your child, you know that child, you know the things that can be able to be triggering, the environments that can be triggering, the things that you are able to do to help your child to be emotionally savvy, because you have self-reflected that, okay, these are the places that I need help on, these are the places I need to work on. So what do I do? How do I help myself? How do I get to that place where I want to be? At the end of the day, I wrote down some few points that I was going to like list out and be able to, but no, we are here to make sure that we are being heard, being we are here for relatable content, right? So one of them I wrote down, I'm gonna read it, is mindfulness. Your mindfulness, your practice. Introduce simple mindfulness techniques. What are you mindful of? Do you really like take time to just sit with your child? Like sit on the floor when they're playing. You don't need to be playing with them. You just sit down and watch how they're playing. Like you just stop. We go every day, like every day. This is what they're going to do. They're going to go to school. They're going to come back. Some mornings, just take that slow morning. The other day I was telling my husband I need a slow morning, and I took the slow morning. I didn't do anything that morning but just lay on the bed and play with my kids, tickle them, emotionally connect to them. Even just look at the child. You see most of the parents that you see on the internet that their kids committed suicide. How do you know your child is becoming quiet? How do you know your child is becoming docile? How do you know if your child is being emotionally abused? Some parents wouldn't even notice. When you read some of these stories, you'll be like, their mothers were right there. How do you notice that your child is no longer smiling? How do you notice that your child, how do you think you're going to eat? The child looks small now. How do you think the child knows that they're going to come and tell you that, oh, uncle put me on their lap and they did this to me, or brother did this to me, or sister did this to me? Open that line of communication today. Ask your child, do you think I'm emotionally available to you? Do you think, what are the things that you feel I should be doing? Go on Google, research, ChatGPT, research how to be better. And also here, of course, leave in the comment section the things that you feel that you are getting ready to do. Because if your child is a toddler, you have not prepared for the teen age. If your child is a teen, you prepare for the adult age. So it's stage by stage. How do you prepare to get there? How do you prepare to not be a stranger to your child emotionally when that time comes? How do you prepare for that? Do you feel like, oh, it's already stressful enough being a mother? I am already providing everything for for you. So please, just as I'm giving you food, the house and school, everything, your clothes are okay. It's enough. That's why most of at the end of the day, when you grow to adults, most kids will lean towards their mothers instead of their fathers. I also saw online where they said that if you go to the hospital, the male section of the hospital is more lonely than the female section, because as as females, we already come with nurturing. You came with the womb to house somebody. You came with breast to feed somebody. So somehow your genetics are already meant to give you this emotional embrace. Not everybody has it. The fact that you bore that child, the fact that you give birth to that child, doesn't mean that you connect to that child emotionally. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just find ways to be able to connect to the child, to know, to be able to connect to that person. It might not be only a child, it might be your partner. Are you in a marriage that you feel like you guys all of a sudden you are now strangers? I can vividly really relive the moments where my marriage or our marriage was really low because of Jackpa. As in Jackpa, the fact that my husband and I had never lived in a house under the same roof before we moved to the US. So we had always done the long distance relationship, seen weeks and spent all the holidays together. And then all of a sudden, we're under the same roof. Of course, we're going to learn each other. Not only were we under the same roof, we're in a new country, we had a newborn, we had the stress. So how do you now calm down and tell yourself that, okay, this is, I need to emotionally connect to this person? Because if you don't emotionally connect to that person, when you have that lack of communication, at the end of the day, you cannot, the feelings are not there, the feelings are going to die. So ask yourself that question. I hope that with these few points of mine, I've been able to bring awareness to what it means to be emotionally unavailable, and what it means, what the few things that you could do that could help you to be emotionally available to yourself, to your partner, to your friend, to your sister. I did not grow up till now. My family is not someone that is not a place that they'll call you every day. My mom will check up on you every day, but as soon as I just need to make one phone call and everybody will be down 10 toes down. I know that because at the end of the day, I'm emotionally connected to my siblings. But do I want that same thing for my kids? No. So now I still struggle with connecting with my in-laws, because my in-laws are the other way around. They always call you, check up on you. At the beginning, I was like, what's wrong with these people? You don't have jobs or something? But I came to realize, stay with them, that thing is just love. Is the way they show their own love and attention to you, and because you're not used to it, that emotional availability, you are not used to that constant communication, is triggering to you. And there's nothing wrong with that. I had to learn it. I mean, I'm married to their child for life, so you have to learn it and get used to it, and it helps to reduce conflicts. When you're emotionally available, you hardly quarrel, because when your partner is acting out, when your child is acting out, when your teenager is acting out, when they change, you swiftly know what the problem is. You can kind of like think, oh, this is, you can put two and two together and calculate the math and know that, okay, this is where it's coming from. This is actually where it's coming from at the end of the day. So yeah, try to emotionally connect to yourself first, self reflect, then look around you and see if you're emotionally available. My name is Nadine Kwanzaa. And if you're seeing my face for the first time, please like, subscribe, and share this channel. We are here to build a community. Here you're going to find relatable content on motherhood, lifestyle, and all the beautiful things. See you in my next video. Thank you. Bye bye.